Hello everyone, my name is Vamsipita. I'm a solutions architect at Amazon Web Services. In this video, I'll walk through the process of migrating Google Cloud Storage to Amazon S3 using AWS DataSync. Let's start with an architecture overview. On the left-hand side, assuming we have buckets created in Google's Cloud Storage, and we want to migrate the data from Google Cloud Storage to Amazon S3 on the right-hand side. For that, we'll be using AWS DataSync service. And in this video, I'll show you the process of how to achieve that by installing a DataSync agent in a public subnet, and we'll use VPC endpoints to privately connect to DataSync service. By using VPC endpoints, you can achieve much faster migration since the data will be traversing through the AWS backbone network instead of the internet. Let's dive into it. I'm in the GCP console. Let's navigate to cloud storage. Over here in the buckets, I've created a demo bucket, which I would like to utilize for this migration. Inside this demo bucket, I have two folders. One is called business data, and other one is system data. And ideally in this demo, I'll target to migrate the data from business data folder into Amazon S3. I've already uploaded some sample files which we'll be using for the demo. To prepare for the migration, click on settings and go to interoperability. We'll have to create a service account for this migration with proper permissions, and then you create a HMAC for that service account. The HMAC will consist of a secret access ID and key, which we'll be using to authenticate with Google Cloud Storage API. Let's click on create a key for the service account. Let's create a new account. This is the service account which we'll be using for this migration. So let's call it Cloud Storage Migration. Create and continue. Let's provide a role for this service account. Search for Storage Object Viewer. And we'll add an IAM condition to limit access for the demo bucket only. So for that, let's add a condition. Say name, the operator S starts with, and here we'll have to provide an expression to limit access to the demo bucket. So that would be projects slash buckets. It will be within the project, and then the name of the bucket itself, which is demo bucket green mystery. Click on save. We'll continue with this, and we'll skip the other option to grant users access to this service account. So you can click on done now. All right, we'll go to the settings again, to interoperability again, and click on a create key for service account again. So this time we'll select the newly created service account and click on create key. Copy paste this access key and secret in a notepad. We'll use it within the DataSync service later in the demo. Let's switch to AWS console. Before we start spinning up resources, let's understand how the VPC layout is in the account. I have created a custom VPC in my account with two private subnets and two public subnets. Here you can see that the private subnets routes to the NAT gateway and the public subnets routes to the internet gateway. In addition to these, I have a couple of security groups which we'll be using in the demo. One is internet facing security group. This group has inbound rules to allow communication from the internet over port 80 and 443, and I'm calling it as internet facing security group. The other one is private server security group, where I have inbound rules allowing traffic from the internet facing security group. For the purpose of the demo, I'll be creating the DataSync agent in a public subnet and attach internet facing security group, and I'll create a VPC endpoint within a private subnet and attach a private server security group. I also have a default security group with inbound rules allowing traffic from within itself. All right, so the first step is to create an Amazon S3 bucket. So search for S3. Click on create bucket. I'll call it cloud storage migration demo. And I'll add green mystery for uniqueness. We'll leave all the other settings as is. We'll click on create bucket. All right, so if you search for the same bucket, it doesn't have anything right now. And by the end of the demo, we should be having the same sample files we have in the cloud storage on GCP. Our next step is to create a VPC endpoint. Let's go to VPC under endpoint section. Click on create an endpoint, and I'll name it DataSync endpoint. So for services, search for DataSync. Under networking settings, select the custom VPC we've been using for the demo, and we'll place them in a private subnet. You could use both subnets for high availability purpose, but for the purpose of this demo, I'll just use one subnet. Security groups. Let's select both default security group and private server security group. That should be it. Let's go ahead and create the endpoint. Once the VPC endpoint is active, select the endpoint and click Actions to modify private DNS name. Let's uncheck the Enable Private DNS name and save changes. This will take a while for being active. Meanwhile, we'll go ahead and create an agent for DataSync. There are quite a few options for creating DataSync agent, but we'll be using an EC2 instance for spinning up the agent and connecting it to the DataSync service. I'm in the EC2 console right now. Let's go ahead and click on AMI catalog, search for DataSync, and in the community AMIs, if you click on the community AMIs tab, you'll see an option which is provided by AWS itself. So we'll be using this AMI, which has a DataSync agent already installed on it. Select that AMI. Once it's selected, you can click on Launch Instance with AMI. I'm going to name it as DataSync agent. For the instance type, it is recommended to have at least a 2x large instance. So I'll select the M5 2x large. Key pairs, we don't need a key pair, so you can click on proceed without a key pair. Under network settings, we will place this instance in a public subnet. Yep, I'm good with that. And in the security groups, I'm going to pick that internet facing security group. Rest of the settings should be good to go. Let's go ahead and launch the instance. The instance is now in a running state. Select the instance and click on Actions to modify the security groups. Previously, we have added only internet-facing security group for this instance. Since we are using default security group for the VPC endpoint, let's add the default security group also. We'll save these changes. Our next step is to activate the agent. For that, let's copy the IP address of the instance. We'll pick up the public IP address. We'll go back to DataSync service. Let's click on Agents, Create Agent, and we'll select Amazon EC2 as the hypervisor. For service endpoint, we'll use the VPC endpoint that we created in one of the previous steps. You'll see it's picking up all the subnet and security group information. We'll keep that as it is. And here for agent address, paste the IP address of the EC2 instance. Click on Get Key. Now we have successfully retrieved the activation key from AWS Data Sync service for this agent. Let's copy paste the activation key into our notepad. Let's name this agent Data Sync agent. And let's click on Create Agent. This is good to go for now. Our next step is to create the locations, and then we'll create a task for initiating the data transfer. Let's go to locations. Click on Create Location. Choose Object Storage as your location. And we'll select the previously created agent. For server, let's call it storage.googleapis.com. This is the domain name we'll have to use to utilize the Google Cloud Storage API. The bucket name is the source bucket. So let's copy paste the bucket, which is the demo bucket green mystery in this case. Let's go back, paste the bucket name, and within the bucket we want the business data. For authentication, paste the access key and secret that you copied previously from GCP console. Click on create location. Now let's go ahead and create a location for S3. Select Amazon S3 and we can browse to select the destination here. I'll keep the storage class as standard, and let's click on auto generate to create an IAM role for creating permissions for DataSync to access the S3 bucket. Right, that's created. Let's go ahead and click on create location. So now that both our source and destination locations are created and the agent is also created and activated, our last step is to create a task. Let's go ahead and create the task. Choose an existing location for source. That is the object storage. For destination, again, let's choose an existing location, which is the S3 bucket. Let's provide a name for the task. I'll call it Google Cloud Storage Migration. Task, and for content to scan, you can choose everything, or you can choose specific files, objects, and folders. So if you want to include only specific prefixes, this will give you that option. And if you want to exclude any particular folders or object types, you can do so in the exclude section. I'll choose everything for now. Under data transfer mode, I'll choose transfer only data that has changed. Since data sync does continuous transfer, it will constantly look for changes at the source and make those changes in the destination. And for keeping deleted files, you can check or uncheck this. If you keep the deleted files, if you choose to keep the deleted files, when you delete the files from GCP, DataSync will not delete them. If you uncheck, the DataSync will delete the destination too. Under additional settings, let's uncheck copy object tags. When you keep this checked, you might run into issues while trying to copy the object tags because few tags might be not directly supported. All right, for logging, let's click on log all transferred object files. CloudWatch log group, you can select one. If you don't have a log group already created, you can click on auto generate to create a new log group. That should be it. Let's go ahead and click next. Review all the changes and click on create task. Now the task is created and available. Let's go ahead and click on start the task with defaults. This will take a while for the data to be copied over. So meanwhile, we can go and see the execution details. Soon the data should pop up here and we can keep an eye on the logs also. So for that, click on View Logs in CloudWatch. You can click on Start Tailing to fetch the latest logs. After a while, I can see that all the sample files I've uploaded in Google's Cloud Storage are copied over to Amazon S3. Let's go to Amazon S3 to check the files. There you go. As you can see, the files are copied over. And if you'd like to have the prefixes respected, you can use that in the includes and excludes pattern so that the prefix will be copied over as is.